Welcome back, guys, and as we said on Sunday, we're doing a midweek special, and this is it. So welcome to our first sort of proper Q&A. We've had a lot of questions over the last few weeks, and we thought, well, we'll just do a video and try and answer some of the burning questions that you lot are asking.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. We are a full-time modern nomadic family of 5 that have for the last year travelled to the northernmost limits of Norway, the thermal springs of southern Spain, and have taken on the famous North Coast 500 in the Highlands of Scotland, all in our self-converted camper. We've had an amazing time, and this lifestyle has well and truly won us over. So we're ready for more. We have just bought a 7.5 tonne lorry, and this summer we are going to be converting it into our new home for our family of 5. Ready to experience more epic adventures living full-time on the road.
So let's just get straight into it. Are you planning another great adventure abroad in your lorry? Do you have a place that you really want to explore in the lorry?
Right, so there are places in Europe that we still haven't visited, and we still, and further than Europe actually, that we still want to explore. So we would love to explore Eastern Europe. We haven't ventured that far across yet. Places like Turkey, we really want to spend some time there. But I think personally, for me, the place that I really want to go to next is Morocco.
Yeah.
I really want to go there. It might be where we go at the end of this year.
Possibly.
If I can convince Rick. So, yeah.
So Morocco might be on the cards as our first trip. So stay tuned on that one.
What's your finished budget in comparison to if you'd bought a similar sized / layout motorhome? Is the lorry conversion more affordable than a motorhome?
Yeah, I would. Motorhome prices are rocketing. Ever since COVID came, they've just gone up. I would say doing a self-build is far cheaper than buying a motorhome. That's what I would say. Also, you get the exact layout that you want. So I would say the self-build option is, for us, always the best choice. We were never going to go back to a motorhome. We did have one. That was the first sort of thing we went touring in. But yeah, for me, I would say self-builds are cheaper and better in the long run.
You can add value too, can't you? Rather than just
because you're not paying for your own labour. As long as you've got the skill set, or you're willing to learn that skill set, then you're going to be adding value. Yeah. What made you decide to basically say F it and just go for it?
Right, this is a really good question. So some of you might know that we went travelling for 5 months in 2019. We sold our house then, but we came back to normality in 2020 and bought another house, had Teddy. Teddy was born, and then we did decide, let's do it again. But that was again just a let's go travelling, let's have a blast, have some fun. Maybe it'll be about a year. We
like
weren't
a
really
sabbatical.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, and then obviously now we have decided to go absolutely all in. So we can't imagine going back to a house.
No,
or
I think
stationary life.
But for us, it's that freedom, and ultimately it's that time. The word time is very important here. You only get, as a saying, that you only get 18 summers with your kids. And we want to spend as much time with our kids as we can before they sort of go off and do their own thing.
Yeah, that's it. I think I read somewhere recently as well, someone said, spend the time with your kids when they want to spend time with you. Because when they're older, they're going to want to go and do their own thing, and rightly so. But enjoy the time you've got. This one's an interesting one. Are you ever going to call it a truck?
No. Next question. No, look. Half the time I call it a van, half the time I call it a lorry, and then another half the time I call it a truck.
Doesn't matter.
We don't. It's just. I don't care. It identifies as a boat for all I care. It's a vehicle. So I will try my hardest to call it a truck.
If it pleases you.
There we go. So next question, what we got?
Right. Are you aware of a high probability of overweight? 12 tonner would be more suitable for a lorry conversion.
Okay, so I'm going to disagree with you there.
Surprise.
Yeah, I am going to disagree. So if you look at most rural locations, you're limited to 7.5 tonne. If you go down most roads, in fact, even where we are now, the village where we're at is a 7.5 tonne limit. So I think a 12 tonner would have far more restrictions than a 7.5 tonner. The probability of going overweight, yes, there is a probability of us going overweight. We chose probably the heaviest 7.5 tonne lorry you could possibly get. So when we bought this was 5.5 tons. We've got 2 tons to play with.
It's not a lot.
It's not a lot. So basically, when I put the question out there, because I did research about the payloads, we had basically half of people say 2 ton is plenty, you'll be fine, just work with 2 ton, it's plenty. The other half of people said it's going to be tight.
Yeah.
We didn't have many people actually say you're not going to do it. So I'm hoping with careful planning and thoughtfulness, we can do this and be in our weight limit. But
because if we do go overweight, then that is like the worst case scenario going.
Yeah, it is.
It wouldn't be good.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be good at all. So I'm hopeful and I'm planning. I've done my calculations. We don't have much in it, so yeah, watch this space because yeah, you might be right. Okay, do you ever feel like when your kids get older, they may not want to live this lifestyle anymore, especially when they're young and not making friends?
Right, so this is a bit of a 2-part question. So obviously the kids now, they love travelling, but you're right, they could grow up, get a little bit older. Kids do become more opinionated, rightly so, as they get older. So
and we also might change.
We might change our minds, and they might be more vocal. They might say, I'm just not enjoying it anymore, Mum. Whatever, but we can't predict that. One thing that we do live in this lifestyle is we live for the moment. We don't make big long-term plans. So yeah, that could happen, but we're not worried about it.
No, and we're also not 100% committed to van life. I think at the minute we're committed to nomadic life. So, if you've been with us for a while, you would have seen back earlier in the year we were looking at narrowboats, and also we've talked about sailing as well.
Big dream.
So yeah, sailing is the big dream. So yeah, we don't know what the future is, and as a family, all we do, and as the kids get older, is say, let's talk and let's be open and honest about how we're enjoying it. And if we're not enjoying it, we'll change tack a little bit to try and make sure that we're all happy. But another question is, how often do you look at your kids when you live in a house and have a conventional life and say, are they actually happy?
Yeah.
You don't really ask that question. If you asked your kids, do you want to go travel and do you want to leave school? Most of them would probably say yes, I would imagine. But there we go.
A lot would.
Yeah.
Just second part to that question, just about the making friends element. Obviously, it's completely different to them going to school every day and socialising with kids exactly their age. We don't have the opportunity to do that every single day, but there are opportunities to meet up with other families, and we have done so a few times in the past, or make use of sort of other social settings, sort of like library clubs and kids clubs. And that's just what we have to make more of a conscious effort to do those sort of things. Yeah. When parking up, how often do you get moved on?
Okay, so we've never got moved on, ever. But we make a conscious decision to choose places where we know we are legally allowed to park. There's some people of van life, and each to their own. Some people of van life will just park anywhere. They'll park in industrial estates, car parks, lay-bys, all this sort of stuff. We look and go, well, we've got children, we've got a dog, and we don't want to be stuck in a lay-by. We want to be somewhere where the kids are going to be safe to get out and explore. We want to have somewhere where we can walk the dog, and somewhere that's quite nice. So yeah, we've never got moved on, and we most of the time we do not pay for parking. Okay, so next question, and this is a good one. It's been asked quite a number of times. Do you think you'll struggle with parking areas and campsites in the lorry?
Basically, we are going to be more restricted. There's no two ways about that. We will be more restricted as to where we can park, but when we made the decision to get the lorry, we ran through all our old park-ups, all our old haunts of places that we've been in the UK and Europe, and we figured out that there's still a large majority that we can fit into. Of course, there's a few we're like, oh, that's a no-go, but there's still loads available. So we don't usually stay on conventional campsites.
No, we don't really stay on campsites very often.
Not a lot. We've got nothing against them. It's just that we prefer a bit more.
We can't afford it. That's the reality. When you're full time, if you're paying 20 quid on a campsite,
20. What year are you in?
I don't know.
Talk about 30 at least.
Yeah, unless you're down in Cornwall where there's staggering prices. So we're not going to struggle, but our choice is certainly going to be reduced. But as Kira says, there's still plenty out there, and obviously I'm an expert driver. so I can drive anywhere. I can get in anywhere.
Right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, but
we'll see about that, won't
that's
we?
it. The first park, I'm going to get stuck. Even here, we're parked up converting the lorry. We're actually on a site which allows 5 motorhomes, caravans, and we're on here. But it's planning. Planning comes into it, and you know, we don't really like to plan our routes 100%, but at the same time, we're not totally blasé like where you're going on. We're going to Europe somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, we like to go, well, if we want to go to Germany, we then find the places we like in Germany. We find all the best spots, and we make a Google map. And then when we find those spots, we will go onto the apps, mainly search for sites, Camper Contact. We do not use Park for Night. We don't really like that app.
Don't like that one.
And then we'll look at the best park ups en route to that place and around that place. Mostly free. And yeah, we will look at Google Maps as well. So I'll look at Google Maps and think, right, can I get in there? Is there anything that's going to...
Street View will be our friend, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and can I get in there? Is there any restrictions that's going to stop us? But, you know, it's even though it is a truck, I'll call it a truck.
No, can we say lorry? Because it is a
lorry.
lorry.
A lorry, yeah. It's not actually that big. You know, it's 9 meters. It's not actually that big.
How do you expect to finish the lorry in 6 weeks, and are we getting any help at all?
Okay, so we've got, I think, 8 weeks left now, and we've already done a couple of weeks. So we had about 10 weeks in total. Yeah. Are we getting any help? Not for the bulk of the build. However, I have got a company coming in to do my electrics. That's not because I can't do the electrics. It's really a case of I don't really like doing electrics, if that's the honest truth. And it's also finding... I would have to sit there and go, well, what cable size do I need for this? What cable size do I need for that? What fuse do I need for this? What fuse? To be honest, I can't be bothered to, you know, work all that stuff out, if I'm being honest. I did the electrics in our current van. It's worked flawlessly. But I'm not going to show you what they look like or my electrical code because it is terrible.
And let's not talk about the bathroom light, Mickey.
Yeah, well, I didn't put a bathroom light in our current van, so it's a battery one.
It's the battery that runs out every 2 days.
Yeah, that's because people keep leaving it on. You know,
I can't deny
it's
that.
It's this father thing, isn't it, that we just go around turning light bulbs off, and that is the same for van life. I just turn lights off all day.
But it wouldn't run out if we had a proper light.
Well, the leisure battery wouldn't run out.
We want to travel for 3 weeks in 18 months' time around some of Europe. Any suggestions where to go, and what's the best way to do it if it's only for 3 weeks? Okay,
so first of all, 3 weeks is a good amount of time to sort of go over to Europe, and there's plenty of places you can go to. But if it was us and we had 3 weeks, this is what we would do. Because we're based most of the time in Suffolk, we would catch the Harwich to Hooker Holland ferry. We would spend a bit of time in the Netherlands, because the Netherlands is absolutely stunningly beautiful, and there's such a variety to do there. There's Gijorn, you can hire a boat and go through the villages of Gijorn. There's a desert sort of lookout bit. Not sure. Do you remember what that's called?
It's like testing me now, because it's something like Kowitzer sand.
Yeah, but there's Kowitzer sand, and there's obviously the famous windmills and the clogs and that sort of stuff. So certainly spend a bit of time in the Netherlands, and I would probably go from the Hook of Holland, go north, and then I would pop into Germany, and I would and then Google the Fairy Tale Trail in Germany. It's the Hansel and Gretel sort of the Grimm Brothers Trail. So it's all these Brothers Grimm. It's all the really cool villages and towns which have incredible architecture. And I would come down that trail to southern Germany, and then I would just dart across back to the UK, either from Calais, Dover, or back to the Hook of Holland. Okay guys, before we get on to the next question, if you're enjoying it, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you've got any questions of yourself, please put them in the comments, because we will put some of the unanswered questions we're doing today in the comments. But now let's go on to the next one. How long do you plan to keep moving, as when the kids get older they'll surely need a proper school?
There we go. So I love this question, simply because it comes with a bit of an assumption that they will need a proper school.
Well, with us as teachers, they probably will need a proper school, to be fair. It's a fair assumption.
It's not, no. And lots of other people have actually said, you know, secondary school, what are you going to do when they start secondary school? And firstly, no, they won't need a proper school. Homeschooling has so many benefits for them, and we won't hold them back in any way just because we're homeschooling.
No. The topic of schooling is always going to be a sensitive one, which it shouldn't really be, and that's because I think parents always want to make sure they're doing the very best. You have to go to a school and stick them into a billion different clubs after school or something. But you know, homeschooling does have real benefits. Like, you know, even with the differences between Piper and Jack, their learning styles are so different. We can tailor their education to their interests.
Yeah, they can take the lead and, you know, tell us what they enjoy, and that's fine. And you know, in school you're given all these subjects and you have to learn everything. And some things you're not interested in, you don't need to learn every single subject. You know, Piper doesn't like history at the minute. She's not a fan, so we're not interested in teaching her history.
She's not interested in it.
We're not going to bother, and that might be quite, you know, controversial, but that's just for now. It's not to say it won't change, but it's not on our curriculum for her for now. But Jack, on the other hand, has shown a big interest in the Egyptians. So even today,
and everything, history,
war,
world wars.
Yeah.
And I think the thing with education when you're on the road is, again, when we're planning a route, we're always looking and going, well, what's on that route? Is there anything nearby that is educational? Is there anywhere we want to see? And that could be talking about landscapes and geography. It could be history. If you're in a conventional proper school and you're learning about the Romans, you're learning about the Romans, or the Vikings even better, because we've done that.
Yeah.
But if you're learning about the Vikings in a proper school, you're in a classroom, where we learn about the Vikings in Scandinavia.
Right, so when you first started van life, did you plan for it to be a permanent, full-time lifestyle?
Okay, so no, we didn't. When we first decided to sort of do this, it was 2018. We were living in Dumfries and Galloway, which is where, after finishing uni, that's where I secured a graduate sort of job. And after a couple of years there, we sort of knew it wasn't going to be our forever home. And we looked at so many options, including...
We looked at moving to Australia, didn't we?
We went to an expo in Birmingham to move and emigrate to Australia. So, but that wasn't the right decision either. And then Kira said, well, let's just sell up and go travelling, as a bit of a jokey comment.
It was really a joke.
Yeah.
You took it too far.
And yeah, we definitely took that comment too far. So yeah, and that basically, we sort of then went, well, actually, that's not a bad idea. Let's just take a break. Let's actually just go out and have a bit of time. And so that's what we did. We sold our house and we bought a motorhome, not knowing anything about motorhomes. And I couldn't even to this day tell you the size of our leisure battery. And again, we then came back and bought a house, went back to work. And last year we decided, again, let's hit the road. But again, it was not for full-time permanent. It was, let's take 12 months out, have a blast, reevaluate what we want to do, I suppose, and where we want to live, and then come back to it. But in after 9 months, so we were in Spain, Portugal for the winter, we then decided, well, we have to come back to the UK because our 90 days was coming to an end. This is the point we had to make a decision. Do we go back, buy a house, go back to work, or do we make a crack at it? And you know,
it was a crunch point, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And it wasn't an ezy decision either.
No.
You know, you have to give that quite some thought. It's a big decision.
Yeah.
But basically, we're just not ready to give up this lifestyle.
No, we want this. This is the dream. If someone said, if you won the lottery, what would you do? The answer that we would have is we would have an overlander built.
Yeah.
And we would travel in an overlander. Now we can't afford an overlander, so we get the next best thing, which is this lorry, and we do it. So we're living our dream at the minute, and as long as we can earn that income, then and keep the money coming in to fund this, then we're going to continue this for a while. So that's basically how we're here. So and that leads us on to the final question, I think.
It does.
Which is a burning question, and it's the question we get asked all the time.
And we forever will be asked this question as well.
I think every week we'll be asked this question.
We'll answer it now, and next week we'll get asked it again.
Absolutely. But now we can put it to the video.
That's okay, yeah.
We can say, come check this video. Okay, so the big burning question, which everyone wants to know, is what were your previous jobs? And how are you supporting yourselves financially now? So, previous jobs. What was your previous job?
Okay, so my previous job, was in marketing. That's what I did.
Yeah, and for me, I worked in forestry, so I was a forest manager looking after timber forests. That's what I did.
Now, Rick obviously can't take
a forest on the road.
A forest on the road, so that he's just living the free life right now.
Yeah, my career is over.
House
already.
Husband over here.
So I've retired officially. I haven't.
No. So recently, with that decision that we were going to make this more permanent, I've started freelance marketing basically. So that's doing good. I'm bringing in a bit of income through that. But to be honest, the main source of revenue, what's really keeping us afloat at the moment, is YouTube.
Is you guys.
Hey, thanks guys.
Yeah. We enjoy doing YouTube videos, and we enjoy all the comments and bumping into people, especially at the shows. It's fantastic. It really is cool.
It is a bit strange sometimes though when people know all about your life and you know nothing about them.
Yeah.
But it's cool. We like doing this. So.
Yeah, and we've even been collared in a Lidl. We got collared in a Lidl the other week. By a very nice woman that just said, "I know you people."
Yeah.
Took us by surprise.
So that's what we're doing at the moment. That YouTube is doing well for us, and that's what's helping us at the minute. And as well as we get revenue from people watching the ads that show on our video. We also, you've probably seen on a couple of our videos, we have a sponsor. So that helps to bring in money as well with brands that are sponsoring our videos.
It is. So we know they're annoying. I don't like ads. I watch YouTube. We both watch YouTube. And they are a little bit annoying, but please don't switch off, because they give us a few pennies every time you watch them, and that helps us sort of work and make these videos. This is not easy.
Yeah, and don't underestimate the level of effort.
The amount of hours that go into filming and editing, uploading, and all the rest is really a lot of work. So we want to keep moving. We want to keep going forward. The channel has had some growth, which is fantastic since the lorry build. And we're hoping that continues in the future, and the future is exciting. I think at the minute it really is. I think that's all the questions we're going to
answer on this video. As Rick said, we are going to pop a few. There is a lot, so we're going to pop a few of the other popular questions, the ones that have had that like button pressed quite a lot. We're going to pop them in the comment section, so head there. And then I'm happy to answer a few more in the comment section if there's anything you want to ask as well, because I know there's lots we haven't covered and just can't do in such a short video. Appreciate that, guys. And also, obviously, if you like watching, click that like button, leave us a comment. Remember
subscribe, absolutely, and the notification bell is really important. So we will see you on Sunday for our normal weekly vlog, and you'll see how we're getting on with the lorry. So take care, guys.